Hello everyone and welcome to The Vortex, where lies and falsehoods are trapped and exposed. I'm Michael Vorsh. You know, a lot is being made these days about the Tea Party movement and its effect on establishment politics, especially within the GOP. And there is a parallel to the church. In politics, the high-profile victims so far of the Tea Partiers have not been liberal Democrats, but so-called moderate Republicans. Republicans are purging their ranks of the liberal loser leaders. Four in particular come to mind: Lisa Murkowski in Alaska, Mike Castle in Delaware, Charlie Crist in Florida, and Arlen Specter, the turncoat Republican in Pennsylvania. All of them are on their way to Sunny Hills retirement acres, thanks to the Tea Party. But hold on a minute. Isn't the anger felt by the Tea Party aimed at Obama and his policies? Why are conservative voters going after politicians in the generally more conservative political party? See, here's where the comparison to the state of affairs in the church comes into play. Because before you go do battle with your archenemy, you first have to purge your own ranks of traitors. Moderate Republicans, like those above, as well as others like liberal Republican Senator Bob Bennett, formerly representing Utah, again, thanks to the Tea Party, they've been traitors to socially conservative causes within the Republican Party, and the Tea Party crowd simply had enough of it. So they threw them out. They went to the polls and one by one kicked them out of office. In this one respect, it's kind of a shame there isn't a form of democracy in the church that would allow faithful Catholics to form some kind of Tea Party and throw the liberal bums out of their positions of power and influence inside the church. But there isn't. Our Lord didn't set it up that way, so we proceed. Catholics need to be aware and studied and knowledgeable enough about the faith to recognize a heretical nun or a traitorous priest or bishop when they see one. Not so they can vote them out of office, but so they can pray for them, one, and alert as many other Catholics as possible to their treachery, two. People like Richard McBride at Notre Dame, who has no business whatsoever being able to influence unsuspecting minds, especially young minds. Bishops like the notorious unrepentant homosexual Rembert Weakland, formerly of Milwaukee, a disaster of an episcopacy if there ever was one. Sister Joan Chittister, whose worship of the feminine is essentially pagan goddess adoration. Or retired Detroit Auxiliary Bishop Thomas Gumbleton, who's allowed to practically run unchecked around the country promoting all things homosexual and peace and justice, blah, blah. The list is seemingly endless of unfaithful Catholics, most of them clergy or religious, who, like their moderate counterparts in the Republican establishment, have pretty much held power since the 1970s. But a further note of caution: there is a great tendency, born, I believe, out of hope on the part of many faithful Catholics, that these types of leaders are on their way out, being replaced by a new generation of faithful Catholic leaders. We hear this all the time. There's no doubt that individuals like Cardinal Roger Mahony and Cardinal Joseph Bernardine and the rest of the subvert the church from within crowd are gone or quickly leaving. But don't make the mistake of taking a breather because those specific individuals are gone, that things are somehow now guaranteed to get better. No, that's no guarantee at all. In the foul dust of these individuals' wake is a whole fresh crop of younger, at this point, relatively obscure priests and monsignors and theologians who have sat at the feet of these corrupters of the faith. Do not think that this heretofore quiet group does not hold fast to the same spiritual intellectual defects of the faith that their masters did. They most certainly do. Then, of course, there is the other group of leaders in the church. They aren't so much traitors as they are the career establishment, the bureaucrats, whose sole function they believe is not the salvation of souls, at least they don't act like it, but to merely keep the wheels of the bureaucracy grinding along, grind it out. Their major concern is their paycheck and or their career advancement. This crowd is the one that most faithful Catholics experience as the roadblock. They run up against this crowd when they try to make an appeal to their bishop. You might call them the don't rock the boat crowd. They haven't published heretical works or preached heterodoxy from the pulpits like the more notable traitors to the faith, but they ensure that the machinery continues to run smoothly, which supports the slow deterioration of the faith. You know, dragging cases out for years, refusing to pass messages along to the bishop, forming endless numbers of committees, convening meetings, which give a whole new meaning to the understanding of eternity. Just like their political counterparts in the Republican Party establishment, they serve the machine, not the mission. The church does have a Tea Party movement, however, that the traitors and bureaucrats seemed to have forgotten about. It's called Death and Judgment. And just like elections, when the vote is tallied, the results are final. God bless you. I'm Michael Vorse.
Please help us keep delivering these kinds of messages that so desperately need to be heard and acted on. Join RealCatholicTV.com today as a premium subscriber. Become immersed in the faith established by Jesus Christ. The Catholic Church is the only hope against evil because that is its God-given mission. As our Lord said, apart from me, you can do nothing. Join RealCatholicTV.com today as a premium subscriber and come to learn and love Christ more deeply.